Okay, one of those nights under almost a full moon. Right there. This camera doesn't work as good as it used to be. And I'm in a mood. I'm at the legislator. I wonder if there's, I think I seen the same guard outside. And I phoned Andre. Andre is arriving. Andre Faust. Somebody told me that they miss him. They haven't. I don't know why, but anyway, they miss his rant. That's what I need. Asperger's and ADHD, and have the debate. This should be really good. But I need somebody to play the devil advocate, and I think I got the right one. Oh, by the way, he doesn't have a clue what I'm going to talk about. He's just going to sit there and debate. Oh, and I don't know with Corona. Can he sit down right beside me, or is he going to get paranoid? It's a full moon, so we'll see what's going to happen. And here he comes. It should be good. Oh my God! 1 minute and 20 seconds already. Are you paranoid for Corona?
I'm scared shitless.
You're scared shitless.
Yeah, jeez.
Video's on.
Oh, the video's on. Okay.
Right there.
I guess I didn't charge that up. Oh, there we go.
What the hell is that? We look like a couple of zombies now. Holy gee, oh come on, Jesus Christ. Please,
Now this looks really
Get that, shut that goddamn thing off, Jesus Christ. Get out. It's quiet. I see what I said? Asperger's.
Asperger's. That's ASP, not ASS. Detail. Okay.
Why? How come we couldn't be under the dark? Sorry, much better. Did somebody ever tell you that you're
I'm good looking? Yeah.
No. Yeah. You know what? The girls told me that tonight. Nowadays, she did say she loved that picture. With you with no shirt.
I'm not. Yeah, looking cool there.
Yeah.
For 66 years old, hey, you're just a young pup.
I'm not even going to tell you who it is. But anyway, no, I said I was going to come here and chat to you. Okay. I had 5 beers this afternoon.
No, Jesus, scary.
No,
I'm terrified now. I thought I was afraid of the coronavirus.
It calms me down.
Charles will put 7 beers. Well, 5.
5. I weed all day. Weeding.
You smoke weed all day?
No. Can you imagine smoking weed all day?
Oh yeah, he's all energized.
Now, I weed a garden, weed, and I had 5 beers afterwards. I haven't had a beer in 3 hours, but that's okay. Focus.
Yeah, focus there.
I want you, maybe we should have done this tomorrow, but if it's good, it's good. If it's not,
if it's good, you know.
We're not going to use it. Play the devil advocate.
Of course, that's my role.
And
that's what I was born to do.
Your bullshit of Asperger's, we're going to...
I should be on the opposition.
Yep, it should be good. Okay. What's your view on defund police?
Well, I've been thinking about that actually. And first of all, I've got to make a clarification. Police hold 2 roles in life. On one hand, they can be the best for democracy, yet at the same time be counterproductive. Okay, having established that, there are some problems that I do see with defunding. Understanding capitalism as I do, which I'm a critique of capitalism, that means that once it's defunded, what they're going to start doing is laying off staff. So with what's going to be remaining, they're going to be more work, more stressed out. And that brings me to the next part, mental health. Everybody talks about mental health of the victims. No one talks about mental health of the police themselves. And what I'm seeing is that police don't seem to be able to work too well under stress, especially when it comes to natives and blacks and any other visible minority.
And what about, see, I'm sick and tired of visible minority. Natives,
I'm a visible
minority. What about people with mental illness like me? We're supposed to talk about me.
About you? Who in the hell is Charles LeBlanc?
No, but I mean, no. I know what you mean, but you know what I mean? Every time they talk about the minorities, but they don't talk about people with mental illness, with the poor. Well, the poor is not a race, so it's not discrimination.
No, it's discrimination.
I mean, it's discrimination,
but
it's not racism. But then they sent to jail, and they forced them to walk home. They can't complain. It's
Look, all three things all tie in economically, except for the Michel Vienneau assassination. Murder. Shooting. But everything. But when you bring up the mental health issue, 90% of the population suffers mental health in one form or another. 1% are liars.
me and you.
Oh, geez, I'm about the looniest one there is.
Yeah.
Me
too.
But our system isn't designed to adequately look after mental health, and usually with mental health you have another problem that comes out of that, and that's drug addiction. That can work hand in hand.
Yeah, but they say defund the police. You take the money away and give it to affordable housing, or give it to mental health. Mental health, affordable housing is a provincial issue. The police is a municipal issue.
If you're speaking within the municipality, outside the borders, then it's RCMP.
That's a different story.
That's federal.
That's a different story. Moncton, it could be provincial. No, I don't. Provincial. The RCMP in Moncton is still by the municipality, not provincial.
My feelings on the defunding, I guess I have reserved feelings about that, because I'm seeing it, from both ways.
Is that to eliminate the unions?
And that,
which that wouldn't be a bad thing, because the establishments support the bad cops.
See, you can defund right out to the yin-yang, right? But if you have a racist police officer, or a police officer that has mental issue, maybe suffering from some type of
Bobby
delusion.
Simmons says she has bipolar, and she has a gun. She was on TV. She said, I got bipolar. And then she has a gun.
That's my point. I wonder what the psychological assessments are before they're even accepted into it, to see how well they can work under stress, because the person's already has a mental issue. Let's say I'll use delusions of persecutions in the mild form, or anger issues, and are those selected out during the testing? I remember one time I was hiring, and what I wanted to do, I wanted to know if the person I was going to hire would work under pressure. So I gave this unsolvable statistical problem to them. I knew that their education-wise they wouldn't have the math to do it, but I gave that to everyone. And what I was looking for was the one who answered it, right or wrong, or even if they put a 0 in. Didn't matter. What I was looking for was how well did they work under pressure. And that was one of the criteria, because pretty well everybody was equal as far as abilities. So getting back to the police, what I see the biggest problem is that they're not well equipped to work under stressful situations.
No, but defund the police. Okay, let's face fact here, and I'm not exaggerating. They must have spent $1 million, close to $1 million, on me. If you take all the arrests, all they're going around, the stress, they're going, and the trials, and the court appearance, and the time, that's a lot of money.
No, your case is, compared to everyone else, is really special and unique in a sense that you challenge the system. You challenge the authority. Authority does not like to be challenged, whether it's the government, whether it's police, whether it's your boss. As soon as you start to challenge them and you show resistance, they'll pull all. They won't stop at anything to try to break it up.
This is what I mean. The fun. I'm looking at it, and I talked to an Irving journalist Friday. It's a long weekend. It was Wednesday. There was a protest. And I was pretty stern with him. And I told him, I said, if we have an investigating reporter, a true investigating, to find out, defund the police and the police force, what happened to me? If it happened to me, what happened to the little guy? And you know yourself, when I was on trial for that assault charge, Terry, what's his last name?
Wizard.
And you seen the video.
Yep.
The cops They intimidated him.
Well, they told him if he didn't tell the truth, that they were going to basically put him away for 5 years.
Yeah.
Basically.
They intimidated
And
him.
he was a witness.
He was the only witness.
Yep.
And they said the door is right there. The door is right there. They intimidated him for about 10 minutes.
Yep. No, that was.
So, how many people are in jail that the police, the Fredericton police, intimidated the only witnesses?
Police, when it comes to crime, generally speaking, not all, they have blinders. If they see one offense and they see a person connected, they'll do everything. They'll break all the rules. They'll do whatever it takes to get the evidence to get that person prosecuted. And a lot of times, like the Donald Marshall case in Nova Scotia, had the death penalty been in, he would never survive.
Yep.
The police were so sure that it was him, they didn't bring certain of evidence in court and whatnot. And, that was a horrible
costs money. It costs money to go after certain individual that you don't like, that they're innocent citizen. And I mean, they talk about defund the police, but something like this and go after certain. I mean, I don't know. I might be wrong. You see a black guy, Mike Hoyt. He's a commissioner behind the building behind us, and he was stopped at 11 o'clock at night, riding a bicycle with no helmet. And they look at him, they say, oh, it's you. He works at the legislature. And his cousin was stopped half an hour later. They give him a fine.
Yeah, because they didn't know him.
Black guy. So is that racism? They say, well, no, because he should have wear a helmet.
Well, it opens up the argument for that, because the officer did use discretionary, assuming it's the same officer, used discretionary powers there. On one hand, because he knew the individual, and the thing is, sometimes when you get to know and you have close bonds with the person, you don't see what their color of skin is or where they're from, and then you see somebody you don't know, and then all of a sudden that pops out in your face. But that's that he opened up the door for that argument of racial discrimination.
And they had protest, defund police. Guess what? The guy was putting poster around, a immigrant, and I asked him, and he said, "Are you a cop?" Because I had a cop T-shirt just that said "cop" on it. No, I said, "Oh, you don't know who I am?" No, I don't. My ego, my God.
You don't have an ego.
No. So anyway, he didn't know who I was. So then he said, "You should come to our meeting. We're going to talk about defunding police. The police be defund." Now, another immigrant was organizing, and then the immigrants, even after all this, our police force is still better than a lot of other countries. And they come and say, defund police. But in their country, oh my God, police is corrupt. Do I sound like a racist, what I'm saying? Or?
Well, in some countries, you just get shot for doing what we're doing here. It's... like I say, that concept of defunding, I have reserved feelings about that, because I don't know that would solve the problem, because like I say, if you have somebody who's if you have a police who's experiencing mental illness, or is hardcore closet case KKK, that doesn't matter how well you defund the police, you still have that personality on the force. I know what others think that that's a solution. I don't know, maybe it is, but the way that I look at the mechanics, the machinery, how it all works together, I don't think that's...
I told the chief.
I'll say I don't think it's the best solution. There may be other better solutions. I
think the problem we're having here, defund the police. I mean, you can't compare the police down the States to here. You can't compare. I mean, it's not the same. I'm sorry. I mean, the population is much smaller.
And you can't compare the police, the state troopers from Maine to New York.
But here, they take anyone they don't like. People with mental issues, people that's poor,
or people who challenges them.
Put them in a cell, keep them there for 7 hours, look at the sheet, the record. Oh, look, he's bipolar. And, oh my God, look at that. He's a smoker. How long he's been there? You know yourself.
Ah, geez. I had to take the dig.
Yeah, 5, 6 years. 5, 6. How long has he been there? 5, 6 years. 5, 6 hours. Oh, get him out. Okay, buddy. Sign here. You're out of here in 5 minutes. Oh, good. Oh, there's conditions. On the condition, you can't. I mean, if you fart on King Street, you're coming back in. But you'll sign anything to get the hell out of there.
Whoa.
So when you look at the TV, lawyer up and all that, and I mean, there's something wrong, Andre.
Yeah, because what happens down to the lockup and what happens in front of the court may be two different things.
Oh.
If the walls down both in the old York Street and the Westmoreland Street, if those walls could talk, they'd have some incredible stories.
Oh yeah.
And again, when I connect the dots, right, even with the what I'll call the racial killings, for most part, there's issues of poverty and or mental health working together. I was just trying to think. Well, you did a couple months ago. You did a video with a fellow that urinated behind a tree, and
which one was that?
well, that was one off the trail, up by Sobeys.
Oh yes, okay.
There was a person who didn't know. Walks in there. They're telling him they really softened it down. They didn't really tell him what the charge was. They just said, whatever it was there that they originally said to him, but it didn't sound like it was anything too bad. And he walks in, gets in front of the judge, and the Crown comes up with this charge. He's caught by surprise. He ends up saying guilty.
Yeah, and then the press said afterward that it was he was exposing himself. He pleaded guilty to exposing himself. Yeah, and the guy said, I never heard that in court. They said, irritating or whatever, but he didn't plead guilty for exposing himself. But that's how they do it. The police and the justice system. I told Roger Brown last year, the police chief, and I said, what they have to do is have meetings in the community. Because a cop, you're supposed to look at him. He's supposed to be way up there. He's the leader of the community, somebody you look up to. But once you start going and playing law and playing lawyers and falsely accuse people to be pedophiles, hey, we got a problem here. We have a problem.
A lot of the times a police officer has to have this, if it's a motor vehicle, they have to have almost the Motor Vehicle Act with them because they can't remember all the legislation and the criminal code. That's a book about yay thick. They can cite the regulation, they can cite the infraction, but they cannot defend in court. They don't have that skill set to be able to understand case law, to be able to understand
they can't.
Legal philosophy.
And right from the start, you need 3 copies for the prosecutor, 1 for the judge, and 1 for yourself. Right out the bat, you're screwed. But that's another story.
Yeah, that relates again back to poverty, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a clue when they're talking about more money for housing, more money for mental health. I say municipal politics do not give 1 cent to mental health or to housing. They don't. So then you hear that, then I'm confused.
Charles, I'll speak for myself. I'm getting up in age, been around the block many times, and what I find is what they do in the press and what they say in the press and what they say in council and what they do are 2 different things. It's like Brian Gallant. He just got hired on as a spin doctor.
For what?
I forget the corporation he's been hired for.
Anybody that comes out of this building behind us.
Communications officer, right?
Anybody that comes out of this building behind us always gets a high
communication officer is a spin doctor. Yeah. Here, oh my God, you got your Brian Mulroon had hired this company when he got into some difficulties, and it's how to take a bad situation, make you look good into it, make it smell like roses.
Yeah.
So they've got all these tools in their toolkits to persuade public perception of what they're doing, but the reality is...
Yeah, that's another story. But what I don't understand is how they say defund police. I don't understand. Okay, at first, okay, get rid of that $350,000 armor truck, but that's too late now. They paid, okay, and that's a lot of money. I don't know. I know the Rat Patrol, they're gone, but I don't know. I just don't know how. I just don't understand it, and I wish somebody would sit down with me and try to.
Well, you know, I mean, you need a street outreach, and that doesn't have to be, you know, done by police or. I mean, you know, I've gotten to know a few of the guys on the force, and it seems a lot of them have education degrees, and some of them have social work degrees. Why they're police officers, I don't know why, but...
it's like the Bernard Richard report. He said they should man up. They should man up. The Bernard Richard report, he should man up. Then they came after me again for, you know... I know we're talking a lot about me, but the bottom line...
Yes, Charles. Oh, well, you sort of shoot me.
You can't be insulted all the time. But the bottom line, like I said it's a million times. If it happened to me, what other person that won't fight back or are in jail?
That question is easy to answer. Many people. Many people. You know, have that, you know, like, I'm a member of the CCLA, and of course, that's all the chart.
BC, Ontario.
That's all. It's you know, basically constitutional issues. And that's when they came in on your case, because it was a charter question at 301. That's why they got involved, you know, with you.
And then they came after me 5 years later with 300.
With 300, but
that's 5 years in jail.
Yeah, that one there. I mean, that was so obvious. That was just done out of sheer malice. To even have proceeded with that.
But I could have punched one of them.
Oh, well, that's...
Then there was a blogger assaulted 2 police officers, not 1, 2.
Well, that's another strategy that is used. It's like passive bullying, right? They get you under your skin, and they make sure you're in front of a camera, and then you lose it and you take a swing at them. Guess who goes to jail?
Yeah, but so... You know anything, Mr. Asperger's, about defunding? What's the bottom line? How do you defund the municipal? What is the municipal politics or municipal cities? What are they going to do with that money? And now we can't even get a portable washroom at Carlton Park because we have an idiot as a mayor, Mike O'Brien, that is.
Well, you know, let's go on the assumption that they defund them. 200,000. Just use a crazy number, right? Okay. 200,000.
That's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. But you know, it's just for the sake of example. Okay, we'll say $5 million. Well,
let's say $1 million. $1 million.
$1 million. Okay, we're agreed on $1 million.
Okay.
Well, hopefully it's not like the carbon tax. I mean, the carbon tax is supposed to, you know, go towards environment, but it goes into general coffers and is used for something else. Well, that $1 million that they shave off the police force, where is it eventually going to end up?
That's what I'm asking you.
You know,
a shit house. It doesn't cost me a bus for a shit house in Carlton.
Whoever the mayor is at the time will get a raise.
You running?
Hey.
You running? You should. You should run. You'll win.
No, I would get shot first.
Your Asperger's. No, okay, focus, Charles. So $1 million. Housing is not municipal, that's provincial, so they won't give it there because then that's a long-term commitment, so they're not going to do that. Justice for lawyers, that's provincial, they're not going to touch that. The shelter, well, is that going to help? Okay, here's $500,000 for the shelter. That's not going to help.
Yeah, it's
What are you going to do?
you know, and again, I think that's also things becomes complicated because they shave off and they have to lay off police officers. Then that's going to be breach of contracts.
And union, yeah, which I support union, but union support the bad cops.
You know, well, the police at one time used to belong to QP, and then they got away. Now they're their own.
No, still QP.
Are they still on the QP?
Yeah.
I thought they set up their own association.
Bob Davidson, St. John.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I thought after the 1973 or 74, 75, I don't know, I can't remember.
Maybe, I don't know. They're unionized anyway.
Well, they are, yeah, they are. They do have an association, that's for sure, right?
But I don't know. I just don't know defunding. I don't know. I see people talking, screaming, but you ask them, I don't know.
Well, I say, you know, it goes back to it. Is that really taking care of the situation? In my opinion, I don't think it is, because the issues are either that the police can't work under pressure, that some of them are extremely biased, and some of them have mental health.
Yeah, there's no question about it.
You know, you always get X number of the population that will fall into one of those categories.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's the civil service, doesn't matter if it's police, doesn't matter if it's a classroom.
We don't have nothing here. We have the police, nobody could go after them. There's no law. Okay, now we've got to focus here. But the bottom line, you got 1 minute left. Well, how many people do you think are still listening to this bullshit? I mean, this BS.
Oh, maybe a half.
Half of one?
I know.
Me and you?
I know your best friend, your loyal friend, Diogi. He's sitting right in front of the...
Who's that?
Diogi.
Oh, DOG.
He's listening.
Yeah, DOG is listening. Then there's a fan that said they haven't seen me and you. I'll say who after. But anyway, okay, maybe that fan. But the bottom line is, really, did we? I don't even know if we should we put this on.
I don't know. You know.
What did we say?
Well,
something?
we'll get two kind of responses. I'll say, yeah, you're right on the right track. Others say, is that ever a piece of shit?
You wasted 30 minutes of my time, of my life. I'm going to sue you.
Yes. That's a good note to end on. If you don't like it, sue us.